Tamala Malay, and this is Cindy Decker, and we are Two Psychics, No Limits. And today we're going to talk about sound healing, even though neither one of us really like those words. And we're going to talk about how each of us does our own modality. And when Cindy was here in Atlanta, she spent some time with me, and you'll know that from our last video because we recorded it here. And we gave each other sound healing sessions. So what we're going to talk about today was our experience with the other person's sound healing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be awesome. So Cindy, do you want to start by talking about your process, and then I'll give my feedback on what I experienced?
Yeah, you mean like the process of me giving you the treatment?
Or well, tell everybody what, kind of what it is, how you explain it to people.
Yeah.
And then what you did. Yes.
Oh, I forgot my crystals. Anyway, so the treatment that I gave to Tamala is called Sacred Crystal Sound Treatment. And it is a method where I work together with 4 crystals, and I produce the sound of the tone of the crystal. So a crystal is consciousness, and every single crystal has its own tone, and I make the sound. What happens is that your body, so in this case, when I gave you the treatment, your body tells me how often I will need to produce the sound, and I'm putting the crystal around you. I go to my second stone, I produce a sound, I'm going to put it next to you, and I do this with all 4. And that gives the client like a deep feeling of relaxation. But at the same time, it can also be that something else is taking place. But I do not know what it is, because your body is going to tell you what needs to be done. So with every single client, it is different, and with every single client, the duration of the treatment is different. It is either between the 30 or the 90 minutes. So me as a practitioner, I don't know what is going to happen. It is out of my control, because the body of the client will say what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I had the session, and basically what we did was I have a massage table. So I laid on my massage table, and we put, some chairs around on the 4 sides, the head, the feet, the right and the left sides. And then it was interesting because I'm really sensitive. My body's really sensitive, and I kind of know what's going on with my energy fields all the time. And so I knew exactly where the crystals were and where they were coming in and what they were doing.
Yes.
Right. And it was really remarkable what was shifting just by you making the sound of that crystal. Right. And you had said, like, at one point, you said you made the sound and you held it here. And that was when I was feeling everything shifting, like in my brain and my thoughts. Right. And then, like, maybe you held it here when you made the sounds. And that was when I was feeling, all of this stuff moving around in my heart. So it was really, what's the word? The word companionable keeps coming up, but I don't know that that's the right word. The stones felt like my body's companions, and that it was a teamwork thing going on between you and the stones and my body and me, right?
Yeah.
And there was no expectations. And it was just allowing things to leave and reorganize and regroup and recalibrate, and then allowing new things to come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for mentioning it when you felt where I put the crystals, because I work with the So the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth chakra. And I do not know where the crystal is needed. So each crystal has its own function with every single client. So the crystal itself, for example, I have a black tourmaline, and black tourmaline has a basic or a general function of removing negativity. But when it comes to you or to any other clients, this crystal might have a different function than removing negativity. It might be balancing or something, you know. So it changes with every single client, and the crystal will tell me where I will need to put it or hold it on my body, because your body is telling my body where it is needed. So I never know where it needs to be and where you need to have the clearance. But there is indeed, like, you know, working together, because I connect to you, and I feel that, and the crystals are doing their very much, you know, they do their best to give you the clearance or the shifting or the change that you need. But it is also in combination with your angels and with your team, your spirit team. They're all there. They're all helping. So this
and
team effort.
It was interesting, and you like you made the tones and you did all the work in here, but there was one of the stones that you put like at the, you know, in the chair that was at my head.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, it was like you made the tones and I felt them in my body. And then when it got there, it was like, okay, we're going to finish up, you know, all the remaining things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And then the one that you ended up putting on my left side, when you started working with that, my heart just opened, right? And it was interesting. You made the first tone and I just went, I remember just going, I can open my heart now. Oh, this is wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Feel all of that. And it was sitting over here just nurturing my heart, right? And it was like I could feel them. My eyes were closed. I don't know what yours were.
Mine are always closed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but it was like during the toning, I could feel the things. And then as you put them in their place around me, right, they were still working, right?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like this technique too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, there was something else that you mentioned about the crystals. How was it? Ah, I lost it. So it was about the placement. Yeah, so when I do the tonings, I have my eyes closed. So when I'm doing the treatments, I am not even aware of the client. When I tone, I'm super concentrated on making the tones. Because the more I'm opening up to the tones and I am embracing the tones, the more effect it has on the client. So that's why I'm not paying attention to the client. I've got my eyes closed.
Right.
Of course, I've got them open when I need to put them around you, but during the toning, during the toning itself, I'm not paying attention to you or to the client at all.
Right. You and the crystal are just working.
Yeah.
You're amplifying the sound and the resonance of the crystal.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
And then they do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Yeah, very powerful. So if anybody needs a recalibration, a retoning, a healing, a sound bath, and all of those things rolled in one, you can get that with Cindy.
Yes, please let me know. I'm based in Switzerland. I also travel. I'm also in the Netherlands working together with my sister. So we are actually, we can work with two people, with the both of us on one person, and that is called a royal treatment. So the effects will even be double. So I also travel to the US next year. I will I think I I also put some my travel schedule on my website so people know where I am. And yeah, when you are in the neighborhood or when you're visiting Switzerland or when you are based in the Netherlands and I will be there too, let me know and then we set something up. I would love to.
And they can let you know how.
Oh, yes. Yeah, my website is stepforwardandbecomewhole.com, and then my email address is info@stepforwardandbecomewhole.com.
Awesome. Yay.
Yay!
All right. So my sound healing modality right now, because it's always evolving and expanding, I think is probably the best word, is with the client, we come into the heart space and we find out what the intention is. What is something, a feeling, an emotion, what is something that the person wants to release or change or shift. And they'll say what it is. Maybe it's fear. Okay. And so we'll go in and find out where that fear is in their body. And then we'll ask what sound it makes. And in making the sound, the angels and the guides and the spirit helpers are all there. And we all help to get the resonance of that fear, for example, out of the cells, out of the place of that body, right? And then replace it then with another sound and the sound of the thing that you want instead. And it's a big kind of symphony. It's a cooperation. It's very hands-on. If you do it in person, it's very hands-on, but I can do it distance. So that's not a problem because the angels are where you are. So that's not going to be a problem. But it is all about, it's not magic and it's not something I'm doing for you. It's something that I'm helping you do, if that makes sense, because you're also participating in the process. And that's because all of my work is about personal empowerment. And it's not about codependency or dependency on someone else, right? It's all about empowering you to figure out, how to live in your body and do your thing. So, and in cooperations with your angels and your guides and all that stuff. Did I explain it accurately, Cindy?
Yes, you did. I really liked it when you do this treatment on me, because what you said, you are involved in the entire process, and I had no idea that with a certain belief system that was stuck in my body. What was funny? Because I had my eyes closed, and when you were asking where in your body is it, it was vibrating. It's like, oh, it is in my ankle, or it is in my leg, my right leg or my left leg. And I was like, oh, there is something. Oh, that is interesting. How does the sound? What is the sound? And I had no idea that there's a sound, involved with the belief system. And all those belief systems that I had, they were sound very heavy and dense. And I remember one of them was very stuck. I was by getting it out of my body. I was actually trying to make the sound so loud because I was determined to leave my body. And then when you asked with what I wanted to replace it with, together with the sound itself was, very nice and higher and gentle. And you also asked me about the colors. How does the color look like with what you want to replace it with? Mm-hmm. And the nice thing of this process is, for me, besides being involved in the entire process, I felt an immediate effect when it left my body, because my body, when I had something in both of my legs and when it has been removed, it was like, oh, my legs are so much lighter. I don't have the feeling anymore that they're so heavy and then I'm like dragging something, with me. Mm-hmm. And I had something in my back, and I related that as in having a tensed back, the muscles were all like sore and stuck together. When you remove that belief system, it's like, oh, this feels much better.
Mm-hmm.
It is, for me, it was the immediate effect. It was you don't have to think with it either. You know, it pops up like, what is this sound like, and you just produce a sound. Or what is the belief system that you have that you want to get rid of, and then your body already says, you don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because we make that triangle, or that it's not really a triangle, but it's you're surrounded on all four sides, right? So I guess it's a square then. You're surrounded on all four sides with your helpers, and
Yeah.
then I'm there and you're there, right? So you've got the within, which is you, and the without, that's me, and then the four corners, the north, south, east, and west. All of that is there for you. So it becomes it becomes like a symphony,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's something that you're doing in concert with having all the support that you need to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds really simple, but it's way more profound, I think, than it even sounds. Because it sounds like, oh well, yeah, I could do that on my own. Maybe.
It will be very difficult when I have experienced your treatment. It will be very difficult to do it on your own.
Yeah.
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 I think so, because you also guided me through the entire process. When you said that my crystals are like collaborating, but you did that for me too. Like, you're doing it together, even though,
Mm-hmm.
you asked me what does it sound, but you helped me as well through the process and said like, there's still something left in your leg. Let's produce the sound again, and we are trying to remove it. So it was also a very nice teamwork between myself and you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would recommend it as well. I would recommend your technique, because I think it is also something completely, unique, and it is something that I've never experienced or even heard of it before.
Yeah, it's something that Spirit has been downloading for me. So I don't think anybody else is doing it. Because it comes through my guides, and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you find lasting results? Because I know
Yeah.
I did yours.
Right.
I had like with yours, I had the treatment, and like I never, how sometimes like you can go to the chiropractor and you get an adjustment, a few days later it's out again.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that way. It's like I had your treatment, and I had your like it resolved that stuff.
Yeah, I
Right.
have the same with yours. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have this and then you go back and have the same treatment again.
No. And you know what the funny part is? That is what I have with other methods as well. When I change something inside of my body, for example, I had something in my legs. My legs are still, even with my back, I could feel that this part of my back is so much more loose than the other side. Here, there is still something stuck here.
We didn't do that side, did we?
No, we didn't. No, we only did the right side. But I feel that the right side is, it's lighter. It is, and if I even think about it, that's what you have mentioned. I think you asked me as well afterwards, like, write down what those belief systems were. I could not even remember. It is like it has been erased, erased also from my memory. It has been erased from the past. It's like, what was it again? Like, what was stuck? I cannot remember.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That means it's gone. It's cleared, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's our evidence, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So if anybody wants to have a session with me, you can contact me at info@yourownsoul.com. And I don't have it separated on my website yet. It's just a 1-hour session. And I don't have any dates up on my scheduler right now, just because I haven't had the time to go through and pick new dates because all my others were booked up. So If you want that, you'll have to email me and we'll get together, okay? info@yourownsoul.com.
Please write to Tamara. It's a very good technique. I like it.
And mine we can do anywhere in the world, so it does work.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, can you do yours, Cindy, in distance?
Not yet, but I know it is coming. So I think this module will become available, I think summer 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the making. It is a technique that becomes available to do it on distance, but at the moment I have to do it in person.
Mm-hmm. All right, so go find her, be with her.
Yeah. Go be with her.
No stalking her, but
no, don't stop. I'm more than happy to receive you and give you a treatment. There are other modules coming up as well with this, with the crystals. A couple of days ago, I've done a third interview with Patrick Moulin, who's my teacher, and I posted that third video on my YouTube channel called Blue Lotus, and we have been talking about different modules. So on distance is one, treating animals is another one that will come up. There's another one that is for multiple practitioners on one person, multiple practitioners on a group of people. So there are more things that are going to come up, also with actually clearing your house and an apartment.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, on distance, but also in person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in person, I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm excited.
Yeah. Can you do your method on with houses and apartments as well?
Hold on, let me ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but the person has to be very present and aware of their home. So it would have to be like I could go in and do it myself, if I went into their house.
Yeah.
But if it's long distance, they would have to be someone who's very present with the house and that would be able to work through the process. But they're telling me I'd be able to guide them through and let them know whether they were on track or not. I already do Akashic record clearings for houses, believe it or not, for property.
Oh, nice.
Properties, pieces of land also have their own Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying it could partner in with that. Yeah. So that's a great question. I didn't even know to ask that question.
Here, a new modality. But how did it feel for you to give me a treatment? How is that? Because I've got my eyes closed during when I do the sound healing. How is it for you?
It feels really good. And what's funny is I can feel what I do is I tune in with you, right? We make the connection.
Yeah.
And then I actually feel where it is in your body. And then you say where it is in your body, and it's always the same place. Like spirit tells me where it is and your body tells me where it is, and they tell you where it is. So that way we have the confirmation, right? So I don't do energy work without confirmation. And so like they give me a picture, they show me an image, they put my hand on it, right? Something like that of where it is. And then you say, it's in my back,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's right here. And my hand goes right to that place, right? Because that's my my confirmation. So, and like with your legs, and like one was a thigh area and one was an ankle, right? And they told me clearly why it was like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
We even talked about what that meant, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like I feel it, and then it gets explained to me what it is, and then what needs to happen to resolve it. So I'm very much participating in your process. and I know when it's finished, right? I know when each thing is finished because I'm feeling it in my body. And so I feel the shift in my body, and I also feel the shift in your body. So I know that it's done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I know, and I know when there's more to do, right? So there was a place on your back, there was a couple of places on one leg, there was a place on an ankle, there was a place on the back of the other leg, right? I mean, they were different places. And then I also know when we're done for the day, right? Because we don't get everything. We can't get everything. It would be too much for you to process.
Yeah.
And so we got everything that we could do for that time. And then I feel that we're complete, but I don't say anything about that. I'll ask you, is there more? And then you said, no. I said, do you feel complete? Yes. It was that, it's that kind of thing. It's like I'm a millisecond, they give me it a millisecond before you say it. And that confirms that we're on the same thread, right? That we're connected. And it gives me my confirmation so that I will move forward. So, and I've never had it not be that way. And so, and this is interesting, if maybe I got a vision of where it was or got clarification of where it was and you said something different, I would probably clarify what the belief system is and which one's the biggest, because spirit always starts with the biggest one. But sometimes we don't want to deal with the biggest one, right? Yeah. Sometimes, I don't want to talk about fear. Let's talk about this, right? Right? Yeah. And so maybe that other one that you mentioned is true, right? It is there, but we got this bigger one that we really want to work on first, right? So that we can get to that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Because sometimes we feel them and we go for the least scary one or the one that won't cause us too much disruption, right? And sometimes we start there. Sometimes we need to start there to ease you into the process. But then other times it could be, you trying to hide from the one that's over here that really needs to be cleared. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about for you? Yours is not mental at all, right?
No, not for me. No. I don't know what's happening with my clients. I had one where she also had the feeling that her head was pulled backwards so much. She says, like, I'm going to lose my head. Apparently there was a lot of stuff maybe inside of her head that she needed to clear out, but I'm not involved in a mental part. No, I'm super focused on making the sounds and that I'm stable. And I need to be in a good space.
So you're stable, and then you have your crystal, and you're just transmitting the crystal frequency and the sound.
Yeah.
Like you're amplifying it and transmitting it and keeping that clear and focused and stable.
Yes. Yeah, because I can feel so when I hold the crystal will tell me when it is ready to produce the sound. So I pay attention to my body because it feels like, it comes through my feet. Because I work together with the universe, I work together with Mother Divine. So I'm connected, in that way. And then the feeling goes from my feet to my legs to coming up here to my chest, and then it makes the sound. It is like some kind of a wave. So I'm paying attention to the wave, because then I know that the tone is coming, and I need to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I can also not really pay attention to my clients, because then I'm not focused. I'm not focused on the sound wave that is coming.
Mm-hmm. That makes total sense.
Yeah. You wanted to ask me something. What was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. But I also, when I was asking you, like, why was my belief system in my ankle, or what? Because they were both in my legs. There's the feminine side and the masculine side. But like, why? How does it work? How do I need to see the belief system linked to the feminine or the masculine energy? And when you explained it to me, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then you said, you have literally been walking around with this. I'm like, oh no, I've been dragging around this for my, entire life, most likely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. From whenever you bought into it.
Yeah.
Yep. And now you also said at that time, I remember you saying that you noticed that you were leaning with the masculine, and what we were doing was bringing forward your feminine. How do you feel like you're leading now?
I
Are
don't
you
even
more
pay, I'm not even conscious of it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
interesting.
conscious because there is no dominant leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't even think about it. I just walk.
Good.
Yeah. No, but it was really, yeah, I really liked it. And it was for me super interesting to experience, but also to know that there is a sound, involved in a belief system that is somewhere stuck in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you also asked me about the colors.
Mm-hmm.
That was also for me interesting. Yeah, because you also then start to understand your body as well.
Mm-hmm. Where you hide things.
Yeah, where you hide it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
very
we
nice.
do. Well, when we push things down, we're pushing them down and hiding them in different places in our body,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
You know, our past, a lot of our past we carry on our back,
yeah,
right? Or on our lower back, or on our, the backs of our legs, or our bottoms, right?
yeah,
We,
yeah,
it's a literal thing, and we forget we're in a body and we're experiencing the world through a body. And when we're shoving down emotions, it's not just shoving it down in your mental capacity or in your emotional capacity, it's shoving it down in your body.
yeah.
Yeah. And so we got to go find it. Where is it?
It is super easy and it's also very literal. I mean, like very, it is obvious.
And once we bring it to light,
Yeah.
and then we're like, duh.
Yeah, yeah. I remember now a client, it was actually with my with the session that I had with Carla. Um there was a person who had like arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's like, yeah, my fingers are sore, it's always very stiff. And then Carla was asking, so what are you holding on to? And that is also a very literal
Mm-hmm.
translation of what your fingers and what your hands are doing. What are you holding on? Do not want to let go of?
Exactly. Yeah, you're grasping.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
most likely there's like angry or frustrated. So that is like the yeah,
Implement. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very literal. And it's
Mm-mm.
amazing that we're in these bodies, but we don't recognize our relationship to our bodies.
Yeah.
Including me. I had 45 years of not understanding how my body worked, or how to live inside my body in an empowered way.
Yeah, we did not learn. We were
Nobody
like,
teaches us. Yeah.
yeah. No, nobody nobody says to you when something is wrong, maybe in your stomach, that you're not digesting, you're not processing things in a correct way, you're holding on to stuff. You're like told that you are a body,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep. Or that you're just, and that you're just your body.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's so limiting. You're not just your body, you're a body and your emotions and your thoughts
Mm.
and your spirit and your soul and your gifts and your past and all the stuff that you won't let go of and all those things that you want or need and all the people that you know and all the bullshit you've ever bought into and right.
Yes, yeah, I super agree. And there's also something that just came up to mind when you spoke about all the stuff that comes with it. You know, a physical body is the only body that we might see. It's the
Mhm.
first thing that you see. You know, I'm sure that there are also people who can see more than only your physical body, but most of the people are only aware of the physical body. But you have a mental body, you have a spiritual body, and you've got an emotional body, and there are plenty more other bodies, but these are also, they need to be taken care of,
Yeah,
because
and they
when
all
there's something not matching up in one of those bodies, it will have an effect on your own physical body.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
They reflect each other.
Yes.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So that actually then your physical body is somehow like an end station for you to know that something is not working.
Yes. Yes. And that's what Spirit told me. I was doing a channeling one time, and Spirit said the reason you have illnesses in your body is because you don't listen to us the thousands of times we try to tell you before that, right?
Yeah.
We try to give you all these signs and symbols and information and updates, and we give you thoughts about it, and you don't do anything. We give you emotions about it, and you don't do anything. And finally, it gets in your body, and you go, "Oh, well, damn! Now I need to do something about it."
Yeah.
Because you can feel it in your body. And if
Mm-mm.
you just start listening to us when we give you the information, you know it's like, don't wait for the pain. you know you,
Yeah.
you humans have to wait for the pain.
Yes. And that is super sad that you have to wait for something terrible to happen and like, oh, let me look into that. But it's
Yeah.
also what you said, like what the spirit told you, you know, you have to wait until something physical is going to happen in your physical body. But then I'm not going to say something very nice about the pharma business. When you're taking medicine to actually try to, I'm going to start with something very easy. I don't know. You cannot digest something, a process. You think you have inflammation of because something you have eaten something bad and you're taking like a stomach supplement or whatsoever. You're actually ignoring the problem that's there. And that same problem is going to add up, or not add up, it's going to end up somewhere else in your body, because that problem would say like, well, excuse me, I'm still here, but you are ignoring me. Let me move over to another part of your body and just let you know, there's an issue that you need to work on. But when you're going to take a supplement for that, you know, you've got, in addition to having the same problem, you are also taking two supplements, and you're the issue that you have is only coming bigger and bigger, but because it's not being tackled, it's not being taken care of.
Hmm. You're so
it,
right.
yeah, that's why I don't like taking any medicine.
Hmm. What about, I've been taking vitamins because I didn't care for my body properly for years and years and years. And so now my body wants extra vitamins, right? It wants it's kind of like the vitamins are love, like the supplements. Now I'm loving on my body by making sure they have enough of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come to a point where my body will be balanced and it won't need the extra. But right now it's receiving the extra as love. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I took like vitamin C. This was the only thing that I actually wanted to take as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a very clear um, feeling from spirit not to take any medication no matter what. I can
Wow.
even remember when we had like vaccines at school, and then I saw all those voluntarily moms being, you know, at school. You had two moms on one side, both with a needle, or like an injection needle, and the teachers were very nice. They would ask you, Cindy, would you go? And I'm looking at those people, all those kids having, vaccinations at the same time. And I was like, no, thank you. Yeah, but you are obliged actually to do this. And I can remember I waited until I was the very last person to go because I just refused to do that. It's like, what's inside? Can you drink it? Well, I would not do that. Like, well, if I cannot drink it, why would I then inject it into my body? Because it's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I always had a very regarding medications. That was also very clear to me. Don't take any. Vitamin C is maybe something that I would take. I've got something at home because somebody told me that I should take vitamin C, and then I've been taking that for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so. And then I noticed that something, it was like, I don't feel, it almost felt like as if I'm getting a cold instead of like preventing the cold. I'm getting a cold, and I stopped taking the vitamin C because I thought I'm going to be sick because of taking those pills. I stopped taking those as well.
Yeah. Well, and you've got to honor what your body says.
Yeah.
Everybody's body is going to be different. And so start where you are. We're not telling you to stop taking your medications. We're not telling you to not follow your doctor's orders. We're just talking about our own experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure that there are vaccinations or medicines on the market that are helpful for people. I'm not a person who, I'm not in pharma at all, but I'm sure that there are things on the market that is really beneficial for people and that they help with the disease. So I'm not saying that people should be off completely. I'm not a medical person, but I would say from my own experience, like, I don't believe in medicines.
Yeah.
Up till now, I did not need them.
Right. And you have a good relationship with your body, so you know what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everybody knows that. Like
No.
99% of people on the planet don't know that yet.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to get to them.
Yeah. Yes.
We got a lot of work to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would like to get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Give us a call.
Yes, please.
Send us emails. We're ready.
We're ready for you.
We're ready to shift this stuff and get it moving in the right direction.
Yeah. And I'm talking about the physical symptoms because I've been thinking about this as well. I had like hay fever. I was crying. My eyes were puffed up. Still, I refused to take any medication. I was like, well, then I will just suffer and I will just not go outside. I refuse to take anything. So hay fever, I had, because there are no limits, I would say, I had a lot of cramps when I had my period. And these are also related. Maybe we can do a separate video on that, on talking about other physical symptoms. These were all related to emotions. They were all related to food. These were all related to other things in my experience, Hay fever had to do something with my emotions and my emotional immune system. Menstruational cramps was most likely things that were still stuck in my second chakra, negative energy that was still there that causes the cramp. So that's why I don't believe in taking the pill either, because that is also like ignoring or I've been, when I grew up, there were girls in my class, they were maybe 11, 12, and one of them was already taking like hormones. And I was like, why would you take hormones?
Yeah, I did. They put me on the pill when I was 11 because my periods were so irregular. Yeah, I took them for ages. Yeah.
Wow.
It was what we did, and I was because by that time I had shut down all of my spiritual gifts, because I shut them down around, around the time I was 8, 9, 10, right in that time frame. And so by the time I hit 11, I was already closed down. And so I just did what they said, you know?
Yeah.
As silly as that seems, that's what I did.
Mm-mm.
You know, I wasn't connected anymore. I didn't have the external advice you still had. So
Mm-mm.
good. Woo, woo.
Woohoo! I have to say, for me, it was super helpful. My parents, they might have, difficult times because I sometimes refuse to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were not always happy with me when then I might have caused them a couple of headaches, but it did not feel right to me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Well, there was actually one thing something that I would like to share about the other video that we did on Hollywood and sound. So the video that I did together with you at your place.
Uh-huh.
So a friend of mine, he was watching our video that we did on sound, and he sent me 2 links, and one is an article where it is explained why nonlinear sound is an important part of scenes. Of scenes of like movie parts, because they are bringing up fear and negative feelings. So in this article, it says like when you would have a certain scene of a movie without the music, it is not that scary at all.
That's true.
You will be looking at it like, well, it is not, you don't expect anything to come or. So they do it on purpose. And another one was, I think it was a video, just a very short video, 5 minutes, and it was explained why it is more effective to scare people with sound than when actually putting a scary object in front of us. So he had like in this short video, he had this example of when you put a lion in front of somebody, it takes you to realize what is actually in front of you. So you see the lion, and then we're like, oh, it's a lion, might be dangerous, and then you're going into your brain like, oh, I need to panic. That takes a while. But when it comes to sound, because that's what I've learned as well, sound bypasses your brain. So that is also why when we do the sound treatments, the clients that I'm treating, they have no time to think what's happening.
Right.
Because it bypasses the entire brain. The mind will not think like, oh, what's going on? And before they know it, they're, things are starting to happening, and they start to surrender. There is nothing to process for the brain. And
yeah, I would agree with all of that. That's true.
Yeah, so I thought like I would like to share this because it was for me very interesting that he shared the article and the video explaining this all.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and he also said like, Hollywood music is made with the same frequency of a baby crying to stimulate fear.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check into that.
Yeah, because that is a reason why they create also, movies where people are afraid of.
Yeah, well, and sound, they use sound to stimulate any emotion: fear, romance, passion, hesitation, right? Being cautious, right? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like all alert, and then nothing happens. You were like, what?
Well, and I'll tell you too, because and the Spirit's reminding me of this. I went to see Phantom of the Opera at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. I'd seen the movie, right? I loved the movie, knew all the songs. And one of the first things I gifted myself with after I got back on my feet was a ticket to this Broadway show, but it was in Atlanta, right? And so I'm there, and it starts, and there's the chandelier, and the chandelier swings up right in, and they make this the Phantom of the Opera music starts, right? And it started, I burst into tears. I did. I was like, it wasn't there. Like, I didn't burst into tears for their thing. I burst into tears because I had given myself this visceral experience. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
was I was just like, and it was just an overwhelming emotion of gratitude. And I did the same thing when I saw Cats. Um, and the part where the one cat sings memories, and she's talking, singing the songs about um, I can't remember the words right now, but there's one part in there where it kind of crescendos, right? It gets louder, right? And this one like heart opening place, and I just burst into tears because it literally my heart opened.
Mm.
And it's so funny to think that even something as simple as going to a play, you can have those emotional responses, right? Um, we have them all the time. Alarms, right? Right?
Yeah.
Those are annoying. They're annoying on purpose, right? They're to get us to get up and stop the sound, right? Make this stop. Right?
I can see a lot of minions already walk passing by.
Yep. And so it's funny how we're not even aware
No.
that sound is a trigger for us. Sound is an emotional trigger for us.
Yeah.
And that's why I think sound healing is so profound, is because it is a trigger for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, what are we triggering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right. Yeah. I think we can fill up a lot of videos about sound.
I think we probably could too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was it what I wanted to share.
That's awesome.
I will include both of the links, the link to the article and the video, then people can watch them as well if they want to, if they wish to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
So everyone, if you want to contact Cindy, her general email is info@channelingcarla.com. So you can reach her there, visit her website at channelingcarla.com. And if you want to reach me, you can reach me at info@yourownsoul.com and visit my website at yourownsoul.com. So we look forward to talking with you again in a couple of weeks. Post your comments. We're still trying to figure out the whole comment thing on YouTube. So if we don't get back to you right away, it's just because we don't know how it works yet. But when we figure it out, right, or we see that you left a comment, we'll comment. We'll respond back to you.
Yeah, for sure.
You also can email us at twopsychicsnolimits@gmail.com.
Yes.
All right, take care, everyone.
See you. Thank you.